Roll Tide and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover. Great to be with you today from my home studio here in Birmingham. Yes, not at the Joe, because this weekend Alabama baseball is going on the road to Austin, Texas. So I'm going to hop on a plane later and join the Crimson Tide in Texas for what should be a fun three-game series against the Longhorns. But today we will start our show as we always do by taking a look at what's coming up on the program, plus our headlines, thanks to our friends RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Let's see what's coming up on the show today. First of all, we'll talk some softball with Alabama freshman Ambrey Taylor from Curry, Alabama. Great conversation with Ambrey about her freshman season in Crimson. That was recorded at the LLH Healthcare Advantage Center at our podcast studio. We will stay in that studio for our next piece of content with Sam Christiansen, a great interview with the Alabama outfielder that got injured in preseason. He'll detail that injury and the road to recovery for Sam Christiansen after that. Then we'll talk some NASCAR, but it won't be me talking NASCAR. It will be two Alabama student athletes. Bray Hubbard from Alabama football, Lauren Johnson from Alabama softball. They're up next with our Road to Talladega episode for today. And then we'll close out the show by going to Monday's edition of Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance. Catch up with Mr. 500 SEC wins, Patrick Murphy, talking about the series sweep against Auburn and what's ahead for Alabama softball this week. That's what's coming up on the show this afternoon. For baseball, it was a great win on Tuesday night at Regions Field in Birmingham. 12-6, Alabama got the win, and what was a really ugly back-and-forth game, and the ugly was 6 errors committed by Alabama, the most committed in a game since 2008, but the good was done by, as Rob Vaughn likes to call them, the young pups. The freshmen once again had huge games at the plate. Andrew Purdy, a 2-run homer, and then a bases-clearing triple later in the ball game. Caleb Barnett, another freshman from nearby Mountain Brook, he picked up a bases-clearing double. That gave Alabama an 8-6 lead in the 6th inning. Then the Crimson Tide really never looked back, picking up that midweek win against UAB. Now this weekend, the Crimson Tide, as I mentioned, headed to Austin, Texas. Alabama ranked number 11, Texas ranked number 4. This will be the first ever SEC meeting between the schools and the first time in a few years that Alabama has gone back to Texas after playing a non-conference series against the Longhorns in Austin back in 2022. For the Crimson Tide softball team, a tough midweek loss, falling at Stanford 3-2 was the final score on Tuesday night in Birmingham. But this weekend, Coach Murphy's team will bounce back as they welcome in the Kentucky Wildcats, returning to SEC play. Speaking of the SEC, two great honors from the conference. Jenny Young has been named the SEC Player of the Week after her sterling performance at the plate against Texas. Against Auburn, and great Vic Moten with great performances as well all throughout the last week, especially against the Auburn Tigers. She has been named the SEC Freshman of the Week. Then two notes with Crimson Tide athletics. First of all, women's golf head coach Mick Potter is set to retire as the head coach of Alabama women's golf after 21 years leading Alabama women's golf. Before that, he had a long tenure and a very successful tenure as the head coach at Furman University, but Coach Potter will be retiring. Hope to catch up with him in the next couple weeks on either Hey Coach or this show, Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, but a tip of the cap, a remarkable career that's included a national championship here at Alabama. Then congratulations to Jessica Timmons for the start of her professional career. On Monday night, she was selected in the 3rd round of the WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever. So get ready for Jessica Timmons to team up with Caitlin Clark coming up later this summer. Congratulations to her. That's now 4 draft picks in the last 2 years for Alabama women's basketball. That's a look at our headlines, thanks to our friends RJ Young. And now we start the show with a conversation on Alabama softball with Ambrey Taylor. Loved catching up with her as she gets to live out a dream playing for the Crimson Tide as a freshman. Ambrey, Roll Tide. How much fun are you having with Team 30 this season?
Oh, yeah. It's been such a blast. I love this team. We're so competitive and passionate, and even practice is fun with all of us. So.
Yeah, it's really cool to see some of the results coming in along with the hard work you've had. So I imagine just when you have a weekend like Alabama just had against Texas, how special is it seeing the hard work pay off?
It was great. It was so fun. I mean, we couldn't have asked for more. The first day wasn't our best day, and we just came back. And yeah, got a lot better.
And that included a home run for you as well. I mean, take us through that at bat on Saturday.
So I walked my bat right before that, I think, and I'm really early all the time. If you watch me, so my plan was to just be late. Then I was late enough to hit it up the middle, so I was like, "Let's go, that's perfect." I don't know. I'm a pull hitter. Everyone knows that, so. being late is up the middle for me.
There you go. So again,
that was my thought process. I try to keep it simple.
yeah, keep it simple is really important.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you've kind of grown as a hitter, as a freshman, making that adjustment to college softball?
So I've always had a really big leg kick. Like I was pretty strong growing up, so I knew I could hit it far. But since being in college, you don't have time for all that. So I go no stride now, and it's really helped me stay down and see the ball better. So that's been like the biggest adjustment for me. That's the most everyone notices that like that's changed about who I am. And yeah, it helps me take pitches a lot more. Like I've gotten a lot more discipline because of it.
Has that been fun to kind of make those adjustments? And again, because high school, you probably swing in a lot of different things, but here in college, you got to pick and choose your spots.
Yeah, it took some maturity because like I wanted to go. So I'm having to learn to relax and, grow up.
Who are the coaches that have really helped you with that?
Adam and Bro, they're the two over hitting mostly. So yeah, they've helped me the most.
That's great to see. So again, this team's playing with a lot of fun, a lot of energy right now. How do you continue this momentum moving forward?
I think Texas really pushed us to realize who we are and how good we are. So I think that we'll be able to take this momentum into Auburn, which is obviously a rival. So that'll be fun. And then we'll be gearing up for getting closer to postseason. So I think we'll stay where we're at.
Well, for you, really taking over as the third baseman again for this team. Also have seen you a little bit around the infield, but defensively, what do you take pride in with the glove right now?
My transition. That's what I take my pride in. I've been working really hard on moving my feet more because college, you got to be quick. But yeah, that's one thing I think I would be known for if I could be known for it.
And we're seeing some pretty good pitching right now as well. I mean, what are you seeing from Alabama's pitchers in the circle?
They're insane. Them girls are so good. I just love playing behind them. I mean, they make my job easy. Like, yeah, I got to do all my things, but they really do make it a lot easier. They don't miss spots often, so I'm not really caught off guard. Like, they're awesome.
Hard to hit them in fall softball and preseason work?
Oh, yeah. I was like, welcome to the SEC. That's how I felt facing them.
Well, that's cool. So now you're in your freshman season at Alabama, but you're from nearby. Tell us where you grew up and how you got into the sport.
So I grew up in Curry, Alabama, which is a community outside of Jasper. I'm like near Smith Lake. And I just kind of started playing when I was little. And my dad told me, actually, he's like, my sister was playing like softball, and he looked at me and he said, "You will never play at the lowest level. If you play softball, you'll play at the highest." So 8-year-old me is like, okay. And that's kind of where that like passion started and everything, was around 8 years old. And then I went to Curry High School, had some great people before me that kind of pushed it as well. So I just always loved the sport.
Always loved the sport. And it sounds like your dad's a pretty good driving influence.
Yeah,
so what can you tell us about him?
He's awesome. He's always taught me to be humble. That's a huge thing for me. That's what I try to say the most. He just kind of had that mindset of like, it's never good enough. And that's helped me get to where I am. So yeah, he's helped a lot. He was tough on me, but it was definitely worth it.
That's great. So you have that interest in softball from an early age, starting to get into it more. I mean, how helpful is it that you have like a program like Alabama that's not too far away? Did you grow up an Alabama fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, were you locked into what this softball program was doing?
I actually, surprisingly, I didn't come to many camps here growing up. Like I didn't look at them too hard. I came to maybe one or two. And then recruiting came. And I got here and I was like, wait, I do really love this place. But yeah, I wasn't super interested until recruiting came.
Recruiting came, and then the phone starts ringing. It's Patrick Murphy on the other line. What was that process like?
It was awesome. Ryan actually called me at 12 a.m. September 1st. And she was making jokes and stuff. And she just made me feel so safe to talk to her and everything. And then came on my visit. And it just felt like home, and the atmosphere here is insane in every aspect. So,
yeah, I imagine a lot of that's from the coaches, but how about the players too when you're being recruited, who I know players you really looked up to? Like, how special was that getting to make that connection?
It was really cool, actually. I hung out with Marley Giles a lot on my visit, so I got to know her a little bit, and then now I get to play with her. So,
how special is it to play with her?
She's awesome. She's such a leader on the field. I really look up to her. Having her catching is great. She knows how to calm down the infield, when to call timeouts, she knows it all.
You all take a lot of pride as well in being some of the players from the state of Alabama that get to wear that jersey and really represent Alabama well.
It's really cool for me, actually. Growing up, Curry, I was from there, so I really took pride in where I'm from, and I got to represent where I'm from. So now I get to represent my state. So it's even cooler now.
That's great. So you get to be around this program a bit in the recruiting process. How special was like signing day when you got to celebrate with all your friends, family at Curry High School?
It was really cool. Actually, I had a really big sign-in party, and a lot of people came, and it was just so humbling, like seeing people really do support me. So it was really cool.
And then you make that decision. You've signed with Alabama. You get to make the move here to Tuscaloosa. What was that adjustment like as you start to learn more about not just being, a student athlete, but really your softball schedule, probably more events and different things you have to do than you ever had before?
Yeah, it was tough for a little bit. Fall season I was a little confused, and I was always tired. But once we came back for spring, I kind of, excuse me, I lost my voice this weekend. Once we came back from spring, everything's kind of slowed down for me. And I'm like, oh, wait, I do have time to study and I do have time for this. But yeah, fall was rough.
But you made the adjustment along with your fellow freshmen. How special is this freshman class you're part of?
It's awesome. Like, we're all really, really close. We go eat together all the time. Like, they tell us all the time that you don't see it that often, that freshman classes being really close. And we all are. So I think it really helps us on the field too, because we all really trust each other. And like, my roommate's Anna Roman. She's my best friend, and I get to play with her. Like, it's so cool.
We just had Anna Roman in this studio, of course, talking about her TikTok, Eat Anna Roman. Have you made many appearances on there? You mentioned you guys like to go out to eat.
Yeah, I'm a guest pretty often. I think they know me now.
That's really cool. So again, that's been all part of this freshman season for you. And I imagine, like we mentioned, this team's worked hard. You've gotten to see it in weekends like we had against Texas. How about just some of the early weekends when Alabama was picking up victories? Did that give you a lot of confidence that you were doing the right things?
Yeah, I mean, we started off SEC sweeping Ole Miss. Like, that was awesome. I'm trying to think. I don't know. We've had a lot of confidence all season. Like, practices were tough in January, and we were like, so it kind of brought it into it. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just again, because it's one thing to have a lot of hard work, but if it's not rewarded with wins and losses, I know it can be tough.
Yeah.
But you guys are rewarded with wins right off the bat, even in non-conference play.
Yeah, that was fun. Beginning of the season was real fun. A lot of run rules and stuff. Our first ever game, we hit like 7 home runs. I was like, wow, we're good.
Yeah, it's definitely special. How about the home atmosphere we have? You mentioned you lost your voice. A lot of Alabama fans don't have a voice going into work on Monday morning after the Texas series.
It's amazing. I've never played. That was the biggest series of my life so far. Like, it was awesome, and seeing the fans show up for us, even on a Thursday night or Friday night at 7:30, and they stay till 10. Like, they show up, and it's awesome. Rose is crazy. Rose is really crazy.
It really is. And I understand one of your good friends plays for North Alabama. How special was that game earlier in the season, especially getting to see her at second base?
It was super cool, actually. We had like dreamed of that moment since we were little. We were going to play either with each other or against each other one day. And luckily, I got to play at my home field. So a lot of people came from Jasper and came to watch us. And there was like Curry people in the outfield, Curry people everywhere. It was really cool. I played with her side by side. We were middle infield for like 4 years together. So we had like a really good chemistry. So now I'm just proud of her. Get to see her do her thing over there, and I do mine here.
That's right. What's her name for our fans that don't know?
Jenna Madison.
Okay. So you keeping up with all her scores? You watching some games, stuff like that too? Keeping up with them?
Yeah, I keep up with her.
That's really cool. What have you liked in the classroom here at Alabama? Kind of what's been your focus there as you start your student career?
Yeah. Classroom, I'm really learning how to study. Because, small Alabama schools, you ain't got to really study to pass. So, yeah, I'm really learning to grow up in that part. Class isn't too bad, though. I'm majoring in finance right now, but I'm going to switch it to management, entrepreneurship. So
that's really good. So what's going to be most important for you as this season continues over the next few weeks to get deeper in SEC play while knowing that the SEC tournament, NCAA tournament is still really just around the corner, especially as we get into April?
Well, for me personally, it's going to be learning to change up more because I'm getting it a lot right now. And staying confident, staying humble. And for the team, I think we just need to really bring our confidence from this weekend and know who we are. I'm really excited for postseason, but like the rest of the SEC is going to be fun too.
It really will be. Well, Ambrey Taylor, you're doing a great job for the Crimson Tide as a freshman. Just thank you for the time you've given us, and all the best. We look forward to seeing you in the studio again down the road sometime. Thank you. Roll Tide.
Thank you for having me. Roll Tide.
Here we are, Croxton. Challenge. Pick up, baby. Here we go. And that, one of those. Oh yeah! Oh, selfie? Hell yeah!
Staying in studio at the LLH Healthcare Advantage Center with Sam Christiansen, who last year got to play against Alabama with the Oklahoma Sooners, even hit a home run here at Sewell Thomas Stadium just over that fence. Sam Christiansen, we're glad to have him in Alabama Crimson this season, and he details the preseason injury he had, plus the work he's had trying to get back and healthy. Who knows? We could even see him this weekend on the field against the Texas Longhorns. This is an interview that we recorded back in March, so he says he's still a few weeks away, things like that, but just know that Sam Christiansen is healthy. He is available now for Alabama, and we get to know him a little bit better in today's Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
Now, we haven't seen you quite on the field yet as you're coming back from your injury, but how are you enjoying your first year in Tuscaloosa?
I'm loving it. I really can't complain. I really just got everything I was hoping for when I left Oklahoma last year, so it's just been nothing but great.
Yeah, we're really fortunate to have you here, part of the Crimson Tide. And let's talk about first the elephant in the room, unfortunately, the injury that you had, because you had a pretty good fall for the Crimson Tide. But then what happened leading up to the season?
Yeah, so it was about 2 weeks before the season started, and we were playing our first inter-squad game. And we were doing batting practice, and I was in the outfield. It was kind of raining a little bit, and I was running in for a fly ball and started to slow down. And I was chopping my feet, and I slipped backwards. And my foot kind of got stuck in the ground, so I tried to fall sideways and then just fractured my leg and then messed up some ligaments in my ankle, so they had to go in and I had surgery on it. So it's been fine. I'm about 3 weeks out from being about, I think, good to go. So we'll see.
That's good. Yeah, we're looking forward to you being back and healthy for the Crimson Tide. I mean, that's a really tough injury to go through, especially like you mentioned, the ligaments getting mixed up, broken bones. I mean, how tough of a moment was that for you? Who really helped pull you out of those tough feelings?
Yeah, the first moment it happened, it was right in front of Braun. So he was just he turned around and ran right over to me, and he was just like, I'm here. And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't really speak. Yeah, the only words I got out were to Braun. And I was like, I just broke my leg. And so in that moment, he was you're good. He carried me over to the training room with our trainer, and the coaches came in and started talking to me. And I think at the first moment, it was pretty tough because I knew I had broke my leg. So when I was on the training table, it was tough. And the coaches were all in there giving me hugs and stuff, just making sure I was okay and that we'll get through it and I'll be back. And so it was super refreshing. And I went to the doctors. They told me I broke my leg, and then MRI came back, told me I messed up some ligaments and that I had to get surgery. So I think leading up to the surgery was kind of tough because I felt like I wasn't healing, nothing, you know what I mean? So once I had surgery, the coaches, every person on my team sent me a text, just sending prayers and saying you'll get through this and all that stuff. And so everyone was super awesome to me. And after I had surgery, my teammates helped me with everything, brought me dinner, lunch, everything. My coaches called me all the time. Stryker has helped me so much, our athletic trainer. I could call him at 4 a.m. and be like, dude, I can't sleep. He's like, well, go to bed. I'm like, all right, that's a good point. So it's been, and every day I go to the field, the guys just kind of remind me they're glad I'm here. Just little things that the guys don't realize they're doing. It means a lot because I just want to be on the field and playing. So
Yeah, and especially in the early weeks of the season, it seemed like they were trying to include you in everything they were doing. You were on like a little motorized scooter at one point, and they would just zoom you right out for some of the pregame meetings, postgame. I mean, that had to be. I know it's not playing, but it had to be cool to be.
Yeah, it was like kind of stressful at the beginning, like having that scooter in the dugout. Like I just, especially when I'm playing, at least I just want to like. There's already a bunch of people in the dugout. I want to run into a scooter after I strike out. You know what I mean? So I was always trying to make sure I was out of the way as much as I could. Like I'd be hopping around the dugout or just little things like that. But the guys were always just like, whatever I wanted, they were helping me out. Like at the first week or so, I was still in a rap, and like Peyton Steele would just like hold me up for the anthem, just like little stuff like that. Like the guys care a lot. So it's been just taking it one day at a time, really. And these guys help me keep going.
And things like that. Does that show how close this team really is?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this team is super close. I think like we all care about each other a lot, and we all want to see each other succeed. And like on my side of the story, it's like the guys just really want me to be a positive like influence every single day, even though I'm going through like just a crappy thing that happened.
Absolutely. So again, that's where we are now as you continue being on the mend and getting closer to being healthy for the Crimson Tide. But let's go back the entire way to the beginning of your baseball journey. Tell us where you're from, first of all.
I'm from Mesa, Arizona.
Great baseball town. Spring training's always there. And again, baseball culture in Phoenix area is very, very high. Did you grow up always playing, loving the sport?
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad played, so it was kind of just like a step in the door immediately. So he was always trying to like force me to be left-handed. And so like he was just kind of like getting me going the right way. And then just ever since I was little, I've just been playing baseball. So
what can you tell us about him and his career?
Yeah, my dad played for 11 years. He mainly pitched for the Giants and then played for a few other teams. He was a left-handed reliever. He's from Nebraska, and he went to Iowa Western Community College and then transferred to Cameron. It's a school in Oklahoma, and then he ended up signing with the Pirates, and then he played for quite a bit. Yep, and he was always like my coach kind of growing up until my junior year of high school. Then he decided to stop. So my senior year, I was kind of just without him as a coach, and he's just always been my biggest supporter. So
that's really cool. Were you around for some of his big league time?
When I was little, yeah, just when I was little. Like he retired in 2006, and then we would just go back for some reunions sometimes. So that was about it.
Well, that's cool. Again, a lot of baseball in the house for you growing up as a result, and again, a great area of the country to play baseball. And for you, tell us about the college baseball journey, starting with your time at a junior college.
Yeah, so freshman year I went to South Mountain Community College, and I didn't have any offers out of high school other than a few junior colleges in my area. Then I went there my freshman year, had a good freshman year, and had a good freshman summer, started getting recruited quite a bit, and then I decided I wanted to go back to community college for another year. And potentially just like set myself up for better opportunities. And then basically almost similar thing happened like 2 weeks before the season started. I completely broke my shoulder socket and tore everything in it. So I had to get a shoulder surgery on that. They had to repair everything, but I was done for the whole season. And then I had committed to OU, went to OU last year, played there, and then ended up hitting the portal and coming here. So
well, you come here after you already went here for a little bit, for at least 3 games with the Oklahoma Sooners last year. What do you remember about playing at Sewell Thomas Stadium, and especially being the starting right fielder in front of our great student section, the right field Ragers?
Yeah, I think I got a good night too, and I think it was Friday night. It was Greek night, so that right field was pretty packed, and there was a lot of frat guys out there that knew a lot of stuff about me, and I mean they just made the games a little entertaining. I enjoy it. I don't do enough. Like I don't turn around and start talking to them and stuff, but like I'll give them a little bit of what they want because it's just fun. It's like I think those outfielders that go out there and just stand out there and don't give them any attention, that's when things start to get a little brutal. But no, it was fun. When I got here in Alabama, it was kind of just like Alabama's just a cool place to be at. So I was like, this is cool. And then me and my teammates, we'd walk around the campus and stuff, and the facilities at the baseball field were sweet. And I was just like, dang, this place is like awesome. And I remember playing, I told the coaches this on my visit when I was playing here. I remember just like sitting in my dugout and then looking over and seeing Rob and Mo and all these coaches just like kind of like firecrackers. Like they were just like as into it as everyone else was. And I was like, that kind of fires me up a little bit. And I remember just like getting to the point last year when I was planning on hitting the portal, I was like, Alabama is where I wanted to go. So I was very fired up when they gave me a call.
Yeah, so you make that decision to go in the portal. So again, you had all that already in your mind. Was it pretty much Alabama? Maybe did you look at a few other spots, or were you really thinking here all along?
Yeah, I mean, it was here all along. There was a few other schools that I was like interested in, but I remember if Alabama was to offer me, I was going to go.
That's great. So you got to see those guys from the opposite dugout. What was it like getting to know them and meet them and talk and hear about their vision for you in this program?
It was awesome. I think like they seen that I had a few like untapped things in my game, but I also had a lot of glaring positive things in my game, and they thought they could just like develop them a lot more. And that fired me up a lot instead of just being like, yeah, just come and play here. They really had a plan for me. And I think the one big thing that stuck out is how good of people they are. And I remember after my visit, I texted one of the players on the team. I was like, is this real? Like, are they actually this cool? And they were like, I promise 100%. Like, I'm not saying this so you can commit. Like, these guys are the best. And since I've been here, it's like these guys are just elite. Like, they really are.
What have you enjoyed most about Tuscaloosa and this school, just in general, away from baseball?
Honestly, I think just like my teammates, honestly, and my coaches, like just the whole, like I could spend 24 hours at the field, like from our trainers to like managers to our everybody. Like there's just such good people, and I love the area out here. Like my roommates are awesome. I just really just can't complain about anything.
That's really good to hear. And it's also good to hear, again, you're getting closer to being healthy and able to impact this team. Just what do you see as this group's potential as we move forward in SEC?
Yeah,
play?
I think there's a few, like, I think this team is very good. I think we're very good. And I think a lot of Alabama fans have complained how the Crimson Tide hasn't been able to finish ever in the past 3 years or so. And I think that these guys are slowly starting to get into themselves. And I just think that the more we get to know each other, it's a lot of new guys. It's a lot of guys first time playing in the SEC. And I'm not just sitting here making excuses. I just really think that this team is going to just continue to get better every single game and learn more about themselves and their game. And the coaches are learning more about each player. And as we go along, it's just this team is going to go a long way this year. And I think some pieces are going to start to come back, and I think we'll be very good this year.
That has us fired up. Well, yeah. Sam Christiansen, you're going to be a big part of it over the next few weeks. So we just appreciate your time. All the best in your recovery. Can't wait to see you on the field wearing crimson. Just thank you again. Roll Tide.
No doubt. Thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Here they come. He got it. He timed it perfect. Another frantic Talladega finish.
Welcome back to Road to Talladega, presented by NASCAR. I'm Lauren Johnson.
And I'm Bray Hubbard. We're getting closer to Talladega, but first, Bristol delivered.
And we got a big time moment.
The Food City 500 at Bristol. High speed, high intensity, and it came down to overtime.
And how about Ty Gibbs? First career Cup Series win. That's a huge breakthrough moment.
Massive. He held off some serious competition too. Ryan Blaney finished second, and Kyle Larson was right there in third.
And Larson led a ton of laps again. He's been fast everywhere lately.
That's Bristol though. You can dominate all day, but it comes down to execution late. And for Ty Gibbs, that was his moment.
Time for straightaway standout. Bray, who's your pick this week?
I've got Ty Gibbs. First career win, under pressure, in overtime. That's as clutch as it gets.
I like that. I'm going Kyle Larson. Led the most laps and stayed dominant all day. That speed is going to matter moving forward. Now we head to Kansas Speedway, and this is where things shift again.
Yeah, completely different style, intermediate track, a lot of room to race, multiple grooves.
This one's more about speed, aerodynamics, and long run pace, not just surviving like Bristol.
You're going to see guys running into the wall, kind of like somebody I know.
Deep to left field, back on it, Johnson, and makes a leaping catch into the wall.
And this is where drivers like Larson really shine. High line, momentum, and confidence.
It's almost like going from a defensive battle to an offensive shootout.
Time for pit stop hot take. Bray, what's your take this week?
Hot take, Ty Gibbs' win at Bristol is the start of a breakout stretch. He's got that first one under his belt, and he's going to be challenging for more.
I don't hate it, but Kansas will tell us a lot. That's a different test. That's it for this week's Road to Talladega. Next up, Kansas. We'll be back to break it down.
If you haven't snagged your tickets for Talladega yet, make sure you lock those in now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. I'll be there on April 26th, and you're not going to want to miss it.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks to Bray and Lauren for joining us to talk all things NASCAR. Can't wait to see more of that here on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Now we close out the show by how we started the week here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. That's Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance, each and every Monday night at Baumhower's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. Patrick Murphy joined us to talk about everything he saw from Alabama in the softball sweep over the weekend against the Auburn Tigers, plus what's ahead this week. Yes, we know the Crimson Tide lost on Tuesday to Samford, but excited to be home coming up this weekend to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Here's our Hey Coach replay with Patrick Murphy.
Roger Hoover joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide softball team, Patrick Murphy. Roll Tide, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. And hey, if you guys don't know this guy, this is one of the best guys that works for University of Alabama. So, Roger, thanks for having me on. And Tom, good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Murph. Always great to see you. And it's exciting to talk about team number 30. You're going to be celebrating all 30 teams you've had coming up this weekend. But what has made this group so special this season?
Well, I think it goes back to, and I've said it probably 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. They are the most athletic team we've had in 30 years. And, we've had some incredible young ladies that play all sports, several sports, 3 sports, 4 sports. And then when they get to Alabama, we always say, once you concentrate on softball, your potential is going to go through the roof. Because we've had soccer players, basketball players, volleyball players, golfers, you name it, really. And then they get to college and they only have to play one sport. And I would prefer a multi-sport athlete. And we have several on our team right now. And then they blossom under Michelle Diltz, our strength coach, and they get all that underneath her from, August to December. And then it's nonstop softball, obviously, for the next 5 months. But very athletic. They're very fast. They're very fit. I just couldn't be more pleased with the group. And I hope everybody that's here, have seen us play, have also been pleased. This weekend, everybody knows we don't care what the record of any school is. When you play the other school down the other side of the state, it's going to be a tough matchup. And first night, 1-0. Second night, another shutout. And then Sunday, 9-1 run rule. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but it was just a fun weekend. Really, really pleased with the 3-game series.
Do the in-state players that you have on your roster, do they speak up a little bit more when it's Alabama-Auburn?
I asked that too. I did. We also had Marley Giles, who's our senior catcher, have been there for 4 years. So we have Kristen White, Abby Dukeshire, Marley, and Larissa Pruitt, all 4-year players. And 3 of the 4 are from Alabama. And Thursday night at the hotel in Auburn, I said, Marley, how many times have you won a series against Auburn? And Marley said, I have not won a series against Auburn. And I said, well, it changes this weekend. And they took care of it. That was one of the goals. And then, the second game starter was Vic Moten, who's from Daphne, another in-state kid. And I think she retired the last 11 in a row. And around the 5th inning, she got a look. Yeah, she had a look in her face. It's like, you are not getting on base. And nobody did.
It was incredible to see over the weekend. And sticking with Vic Moten for a minute, I got to do a podcast interview with her a few weeks ago for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. She is very confident in what she's doing out there in the circle. Have you noticed that kind of confidence even going back to recruiting her?
Well, she was really quiet as a recruit. And then she has slowly, come out of her shell a little bit. Just a great young lady, really funny. I mean, she's Coach Moten in the dugout, encouraging the hitters, giving them coaching tips. I think that's her side gig, but just a great young lady. Yes, very competitive. She's just going to get better and better and better. And all the credit there goes to Lance McMahon, our pitching coach, who's done a hell of a job with all the pitchers this year.
And how about Marley as well, navigating this pitching staff?
Oh, yeah, she's been great. She's got the C on her jersey and 4-year starter, just a great young lady. She's one of the rare kids nowadays that, we always say, would you rather win or would you rather play? And I want kids who want to win, number one. And she is a young lady that's holds people accountable in a good way. She has tact and tone, and just has been a really, really good senior catcher for us this year. And, just love her to death.
We're excited to have Alabama softball back home in Tuscaloosa. The last time we saw you guys here at home, it was the Texas Longhorns in the building, and Alabama lost the first game to Texas. What was the response? What was the attitude around this team going into Game 2 that led to a great victory there and Game 3?
Well, one of the goals of the team, they have about 8 or 9 on the dry erase board in the clubhouse, and it was to bounce back after loss. And, it was just a bad game. Just one of those days. Everything went Texas' way, and we didn't do anything offensively. We didn't get a good start. It just was not a good night. And credit to them, they came in as the number 1 team in the country, and they looked every bit of it. And then the next day, it was just a opportunity to show everybody that we have grit, we have resiliency. And as I say that, I can see Coach Bryant at halftime of a speech, and I don't know what game it was, but he says, if we have class, we're going to see it. We'll show it in the second half. I don't know why that came up, but beat them 7-4. And then, or actually, I'm messing up with my scores, but we beat them 2 games in a row, took the series, too many games.
You're locked in your process. You're not looking at the scoreboard.
I know. And I'm thinking of Bear Bryant too.
Coach Saban's proud too.
Yes. But it was just a good response. And I think when we got out there on Saturday, because it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the look in everybody's face was, we have this. You know, there was not a second of doubt from anybody on the team, anybody in the dugout. We had great crowd all weekend long. They pulled us through. And I don't know, some of you, I know a lot of people are here, was at the game, but I think it was that, I think it was Friday, they had this little montage from the SEC network. And they interviewed a bunch of softball players from all over the SEC. And the question was, where is the toughest place to play in the SEC? And the catcher from Texas, who had not even played in Tuscaloosa, she's sitting in a chair and she goes, well, I think it's supposed to be Alabama, right? And then every single young lady, Alabama, oh, and then a Texas A&M, Alabama, oh my gosh. We went there last year, and that is a credit to anybody in here that has come to a game. That's because of you.
Roll Tide to our outstanding fans. And of course, you've had a lot of success as Alabama's head coach. We got to celebrate another milestone this weekend. SEC win number 500, the first coach to do that in SEC softball. And I know you've got kind of all the memories of Alabama softball on your mind as we get ready for Alumni Weekend. But how special is that, Mark?
Well, we had a head coaches meeting this morning at 8:30. Not good timing after a weekend, but sitting there waiting for the meeting to start. And somebody sits right next to me. I turn over, and it's Coach DeBoer. And he goes, man, you must be really old. 500 wins? I said, thanks a lot. You look like you've aged 10 years since you've been here. No. And you guys know that. I had no idea. And Nathan Sheehan, my SID, is over there. And I don't know who did these little cards, but it said 500. And the team, I see Lex over there at Salem, and Brooke is here, obviously. After the game, they all start to scream and yell and jump and, tackle me. And I'm like, what in the world is 500? I had no clue. And then Nate gives me the sheet, and, you're the first coach to win 500 in the SEC. And so I really appreciate all the text, the emails, the responses on social media. It's been unbelievable. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, Murph. 500 SEC wins and more to come. And
now we take a look at what's coming up on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. A busy weekend ahead for Alabama softball and baseball. First of all, softball at home against Kentucky this weekend, 5 o'clock on Friday, and then 1:30 start times both on Saturday. Of course, a busy Saturday coming up on campus here at the University of Alabama. They will start at 1:30 on Saturday and Sunday. Baseball, 6:30 start time for the series opener tomorrow night at Texas. Radio airtime always 15 minutes prior to first pitch. 2 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then Hey Coach will be coming up on Monday night on April 20th. Only 2 more editions of Hey Coach left here in the month of April as we say goodbye to the program in May, but don't you worry. We'll be back in August before you know it, talking Crimson Tide football. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms for the very latest on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And that's going to do it for this busy edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Huge thank you to our guests, Sam Christiansen, Ambrey Taylor, as well as Patrick Murphy. And thanks as well to John Lasseter and his team here at Learfield for that Road to Talladega series with Bray, Hubbard, and Lauren Johnson. For all of us with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, this is Roger Hoover saying thanks for watching Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Enjoy this weekend coming up of Alabama athletics. Roll Tide, everyone.